is like hitting that refresh button on your computer. You want that latest information. You hit refresh.
You want it fast in the morning. You don't have time to mess around.
Whether it's news, business, or the weather, you don't have to stress because it will be there.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
Protect your family and let the Weather Channel notify you whenever threatening weather approaches. Now, you're local on the 8s. Severe weather updates throughout the day. Stay with the Weather Channel.
Alex is still a hurricane as it pushes inland in Mexico, but its threats are not over quite yet. And the biggest threat is the flooding rain. Learn what could add to the flood threat along the Texas coast as we head through the morning hours. And hundreds have taken shelter against Alex in South Texas. Find out what other impacts the first hurricane of the Atlantic season are having right now. Welcome to this very special edition of First Outlook. I'm meteorologist Jeff Morrow. Hurricane Alex gained strength right before it roared ashore late last night. It made landfall right about 9 p.m. and that would be right around northeast Mexico here. Category 2 is what it came in as, with winds of 105 miles an hour. Folks, this was so close to be really ramping up to be a major hurricane, with that pressure falling to 947 millibars. But from here on out, Alex should continue to weaken. And we have brand new video, this from La Pesca, Mexico, along the northeast Mexican coast. Look at the wild waves here. Really impressive stuff. I mean, the water just, the wind just whipping some of the water right off the tops of the waves. You can see the trees swaying here in some wind gusts as this came ashore of over 100 miles an hour. So Mexico really taking it on the chin here, particularly northeast Mexican coast, although South Texas got brushed by. The heavy rain and the wind still caused some big problems. And as you've come to expect, we were there as Alex approached land. One of our meteorologists there, Mike Seidel, shows us now what conditions were like in Brownsville, Texas.
Late Wednesday night in Brownsville, another rain squall comes through South Texas. We've seen this all day long and now totals as much as 7 inches across Cameron County. That's the home county to Brownsville. Our peak wind gust so far, 48 miles an hour. We had 2 minor tornadoes touching down with minor damage. So the wind hasn't been a major issue, and as a result, power outages very sporadic. At one point on Wednesday, we had as many as 6,000 customers without power in Brownsville. That was because the substation went down. They got that back online. And as of late tonight, only about 600 customers in the city of Brownsville without power. Overnight, maybe another 2 or 3 inches of rain, depending on where you are. These are bands of rain coming in, not a solid coverage of rainfall. And that is what saved us today from any significant flooding on Wednesday. We have had flooding in neighborhoods, front yards, backyards, but no reports of any water getting into the first floor, into the front doors of homes. Rest of tonight into Thursday, we will have more of these tropical downpours. They'll begin to wind down on Thursday. A tremendous 4th of July weekend, getting back to typical South Florida weather. Temperatures back in the 90s and the winds backing off. The beaches will be back open for business by Friday. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mike Seidel, of course, braving the nasty weather as he always does. Here are the latest Alex impacts. All right, as we see them right now, over 200 people are in shelter in South Texas. In fact, so many sought shelter in Brownsville, the one shelter actually filled up, but those in need of a place to stay were sent to another high school in the community. Meanwhile, in Mexico, thousands there are also in shelters. Officials evacuated residents not only from neighboring Matamoros, but from villages along the immediate coast as well. And so far, 4 deaths in Mexico have been attributed to Alex. So let's give you the latest satellite picture, and really still fills the screen here, doesn't it? There you can see the eye well embedded in this deep red area as it came ashore. It was intensifying rapidly, but now that it's moved inland into northern Mexico, north of Tampico, it has started to die down. You can still see the circulation center here. Looks like it may be making a little jog off to the southwest. And notice out over the water here, we really don't have any precipitation. Most of it is onshore now, and that's where the threat of possible tornadoes will continue to be. That's why this tornado watch is out until 5 a.m. local time. Oftentimes they'll reissue that, so don't expect the threat to go away at 5. They'll probably just reissue it and maybe move it just a little bit. It's in these bands, these spiral bands of moisture continuing to rotate around Alex. That's where you can often find the potential anyway for some isolated weaker tornadoes. The actual center of Alex, as we just saw there on the radar, continuing to move inland. It's actually jogged a little to the south now, but we think it'll continue to stay over Mexico. The wind's less and less of an issue as time goes by, as the system really gets torn up over the mountains of Mexico. But those same mountains will help to cause some extremely heavy rain over parts of northern Mexico. So again, the severe weather threat continues here. That's just one problem, but the very heavy rain will be another. And as we continue to track Alex, remember that the Weather Channel is your hurricane authority. Count on us for in-depth analysis, the latest developments, and the latest watches and warnings. And don't forget, you can also get 24/7 coverage at our website at weather.com. And if I can ask my director, she just had this up. Thanks, Tanya, for leaving this up here for me. I definitely wanted to show this to you. Record rainfalls yesterday. I mean, particularly the one out here in McAllen kind of jumps out at you. 6 2/3 inches of rain yesterday. Look at the old record. It definitely doesn't typically rain very much at the end of June here or early July. I mean, the old record was less than an inch. So again, Alex really dumping tremendous amounts of rain, 5, 6 inches. We even had reports of 7, 8, and 9 inches, particularly as you head south of the border into Mexico. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the weather across parts of the south. I showed you the severe weather threat here across South Texas, but actually with a frontal boundary kind of stalled all across this area, we'll continue to have a possibility of some showers and thunderstorms there. Well, waves not only surged in South Texas, but along much of the Gulf Coast. Ahead, we'll tell you how long that will last.
Are you suffering from frequent heartburn?